What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Talk Footy podcast. It has been a little bit, so we are happy to all be back together. I think it's been 3 weeks without all three of us together, so nice to see you both here. Excited to be back on a regular schedule, and let's jump into it. Actually, no, real quick. Max was in Peru for 2 weeks, kind of cool. I was in Iceland last week. Tommy was here on the couch resting his ACL.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Nothing else. Just absolute rest the entire weekend.
Tommy was just telling us about his adventure in the Chicago River, actually. Yeah. So he was traveling, doing some
exploration of my own.
Yeah.
It's local traveling, you know?
That's important.
Some swimming. Some
swimming. Some unexpected swim.
Hi, boys.
All right. Well, let's talk. I guess I don't all know exactly what you guys covered last week, but I did not see any games. I know you guys did talk about the Chelsea managerial change. So we don't have to get too much into that, but I guess I can just give my thoughts really quick because I don't think we've even really talked too much about that. And I think my main takeaway is I feel bad for Tuchel, but I'm content with the managerial swap. I feel like both of them, I didn't really doubt Tuchel, but I in no way doubt Graham Potter either. I think he's a really good coach. Tommy, I think we've,
I love watching Brian.
Talked about Brian all the time. So I think Potter will be a great coach, honestly. I feel bad for Tuchel, but he got the huge paycheck for his being fired, so I think he'll find another team. He'll be all right. But yeah, no hard feelings towards. Yeah, maybe he would not go to Brighton. But no, I mean, he did great things for Chelsea. He kind of revamped them, won a Champions League, won the Super Cup, or the Club World Cup. So I'm very, very thankful for his time with the Blues. I'm excited to see what's new under Potter because I do think he's a coach that excites me. And Brighton creates so many chances. Chelsea doesn't really create a lot of chances, so hopefully that can change around a little bit.
Yeah.
He might play Cucurella too much and not play Chilwell, though. That's my...
One thing I'm excited about is he plays a lot of inverted wing backs. He plays a lot of left footers on the right and right footers on the left. So I feel like with our three main wing backs, Cucurella, Chilwell, and Reece James, we might see some switching up in there and a lot of playing time. So that's exciting. And yeah, it's going to be a question of who is going to. He has the ability to play with Brighton. He's played 3-4-3 and like a 3-5-2 with a more striker-focused formation. So, and we now have Aubameyang and Kai as like strikers. So, it's gonna be interesting to see who's in and who's out in terms of the regular starting 11.
I guess I don't know too much. Like I'm trying to think of Brighton's attackers, and they have like Danny Welbeck. They had Neil Maupay. But do you know if he played if he just had one guy up top, or I'm curious to see how Aubameyang and Kai Havertz are going to fit into the same side because they're obviously two different players, which is good, but I don't know. Aubameyang, I guess at Arsenal played alongside Lacazette, but that never really worked out as well as I think a lot of Arsenal fans hoped for. And then for his brief time at Barcelona, he was just a sole striker as well. So I'm curious to see how Kai Havertz can fit into that side because I really think like the hardest part of this Chelsea job these days is getting an attacking lineup that fits together well and utilizes everyone's strengths.
Yeah. Basically, in my mind, I see Kai Havertz playing the Danny Welbeck role. Danny Welbeck has been very selfless in terms of just like basically pinging off passes, receiving balls and pinging it to the wing backs, to the wingers when they are there. I feel like that's Kai's strength, not actually attacking the box. And then with another striker, it's going to be interesting. I feel like a Lautaro Martinez or a Maupay works best with that as like a player who's pacey who works off that. Aubameyang used to be pacey. I'm not sure what kind of player he is at the moment. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, how did he play? How did he play against Zagreb? That didn't look like it went very well.
No, there
The
you
Zagreb
go.
game.
Yeah,
It was interesting because he like took up a lot of the same spaces as Kai, even though like Kai was the right winger or Aubameyang was kind of the right winger. They kind of played the exact same position,
Yeah.
and they kind of got in their same way, so it didn't go well.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see our game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, and whenever a new manager comes in, you often see maybe a new formation or a new, you know, new players being played or in different positions or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see kind of what what happens tomorrow, because if you think back to when Tuchel first started, he, you know, kind of ditched a lot of Lampard's, you know, young, exciting players, at least at first, and started Azpilicueta and Rudiger and these more senior players in the back just to kind of resettle the team. So I'm not saying Potter is going to do that, but I think it will be interesting to see kind of what he does do, because I assume it will be different. And in all honesty, I hope it is, because I think Chelsea ran into a lot of trouble kind of just doing the same thing. There wasn't enough dynamicism. That's a word, I think.
That's a word. Let's roll with it.
Dynamicism.
Dynamic.
We'll count it because I can't refute.
Dynamic.
Yeah, I
is-
don't know. Can neither confirm nor deny. They need to be more dynamic, is what they needed to be. Because
Dynamism.
I feel like that's like an era.
Yeah.
Dynamism.
That's, whatever. They need to be able to do more, because basically what we've been stuck in is just Jorginho swinging the ball back and forth like a pendulum without anything else. It's been very predictable, and we know what's coming, and it's safe, and nothing gets done. Yeah. So Chelsea just need kind of that spark. And one thing that Brighton do is they are much more offensive than Chelsea. They have their wing backs and whatnot, but they play them a lot higher up. And not that Chelsea doesn't do that, but they somehow just have a lot more presence further up the field, which sometimes leaves them exposed for counterattacks. But we do have some obviously great defenders still. And we have Wesley Fofana now, who's very pacey. And Thiago Silva, although not pacey, his positioning lets him, still keep up with these pacey attackers.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of forward movement and more attacking emphasis that Potter has will be hopefully what Chelsea needs to kind of get some goals, because that's what they really need.
I feel like it's got to be rare that a head coach or like a manager starts their first game as like a Champions League game, because he didn't get the game this weekend, and then I mean they need to win this game because they lost the first Champions League game. So it's not quite must win because it's still early in the group stages, but they need to win this game. And I think they're playing Leipzig, right?
Salzburg,
yeah.
Yeah, Salzburg. So I mean it's a game they should win for sure.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think they
still
need to win it.
It's Champions League. It's still a difficult opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. How about the Bayerns?
And Bayern's
What's
today.
I don't have a mascot like what do they call them? Like the Reds, the Bavarians.
The Bavarians, not really the Reds, although they have like Die Roten in German, which is the Reds a little bit. But yeah, what a game! Did you guys get to watch that?
Bayern.
Yeah,
The
Super
game's
Bayern,
today?
Super Bayern.
Yeah, I
watched
was
the
kind of
first
in and
half.
out. I had meetings with Tommy and I watched part of it.
I watched I just sat there.
I
Did not work.
count that recorded.
Yeah, sorry, boss.
I'll bleep that. Did work.
I did work. I
add in
Stop it,
multitasked.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure your editing skills will make that consistent enough. No, was not able to watch all of it, but I did see Sane back in the score sheet. He's on fire right now.
Yeah, he's on fire. He got subbed off though, and he was like not happy with that. But that's like always his personality, I feel like. But he's on fire. Mane has been kind of struggling, and like this was an important game. Okay, you need some water?
Oh no, this shake will.
No, Mane has been kind of struggling, and Bayern has been struggling a little bit in the league too. They've had like maybe 3 draws in the last 3 games. So I was nervous going into this Barcelona game, and honestly, I think the XG favored Barcelona slightly because Barcelona had a bunch of chances. Lewandowski himself had a bunch of chances, but I'm so happy that Bayern won this game because, one, I think this was the best game that we defended. This was for sure the best team we've faced besides Inter. I mean, Barcelona is better than Inter. So this is the best team we've faced, but I also think this is the best our defense has looked. And we defended so well as a team. Like, Mazraoui came in because Pavard got hurt, and after the first goal, he looked so good. Like, this was the first time Mazraoui actually looked impressive in a Bayern jersey.
How do you feel about that? Like, De Ligt wasn't playing. How do you feel that your best defensive performance has been without him?
I mean, I think he's our third best center back at the moment. I think Hernandez is our best center back, and Upamecano had his best game as a Bayern player today. And De Ligt let up a penalty, a late penalty in the last game last weekend. So I think he's still working into things. Nagelsmann's still figuring out who their best center backs are. But yeah, I'm super glad that Mazraoui had a good game. Goretzka is right now on the bench. Like, he didn't start. He's still coming back from injury, but I think that Bayern likes Sabitzer with Kimmich starting because Sabitzer can play a little more defensive, which allows Kimmich to move forward a little bit more. Versus if Goretzka starts, he's the more attacking player and Kimmich sits back more. So we'll see. I want to see more out of Mane. Muller had like a Muller game. Kind of underwhelming, I feel like, but it was his birthday today, so got a win for the birthday boy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with Barca, but they are so fun to watch. Those players are incredible. Like Dembele, Fati, Pedri, Gavi, all of those like young players are unbelievable to watch. They're like we were just watching like every time they play a ball, a big cross out to Dembele or to Ansu Fati, and they just like bring it down like it's nothing, and it's like unbelievable every time. What they do with it, maybe not as impressive all the time, but they're so technical, they're so like beautiful playing together, that there's so much talent there. So I was, with all of that being said, I was then disappointed. Lewandowski should have gotten 1 or 2 goals there in the first half early on, and then kind of after that the chances really stopped coming. But
Dembele especially, he's so talented,
good.
And it's impossible to defend him one-on-one. Did you know Alphonso Davies is a dad to Rafinha?
I was like, dang.
Rafinha didn't do any. Besides the one shot that he had maybe 30 minutes in, Davies dominated that left side, like especially that first half. Like he just like running up and down the left side. So, yeah. I'm glad.
Well, Rafinha also has not been as impressive, at least thus far, in his Barca career. But I think he must. Well, same, Ferran Torres as well. But like Ansu Fati and Dembele are just so much better than those two. I think, at least right now, currently in current form. So then I guess Barca. Who do they play first? Do you know
the first game they played Pilsen, Inter. What was their name?
So they play Inter
Victoria
next,
Pilsen, yeah. So they play Inter. Bayern plays Victoria Pilsen. Which I guess is like, what, the founding place of Pilsen beer? Or something like that?
Or Pilsner.
Or Pilsner, yeah. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, Bayern for sure need to win that to solidify top of the group, at least through the first 3 games. And and Barcelona and Inter are tied on points. Barcelona's ahead on goal difference. But that's kind of a big game for both of them.
That's a huge game. I mean, that's kind of where the
the differences, I
guess.
Difference,
can be made. Whoever is moving on, because if Bayern already has those 2 wins, it really is kind of the difference maker between those 2 teams.
It's the difference between Champions League and Europa League, right there.
Back-to-back Europa League appearances for Barcelona, potentially.
I don't know. Inter's looking pretty poor this year, so I think Barcelona beats Inter. That's gonna be a great game, honestly.
Great game, yeah, I feel like
another great game this year. Today was Ajax Liverpool. Did you see that finish by what was his name?
Matip?
No, not Matip.
Oh, Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah, Kudus.
He's been going. Okay, he's been going off.
Me and Harry yelped
in the league.
like, oh.
Yeah,
But then Liverpool won in the 89th minute, which is annoying.
They always
Yeah.
do it. They always somehow find a way, and it makes me frustrated.
Yeah.
Very frustrated.
I'm glad to see Thiago play though. It's the first time in maybe
Little
a
bit. He's
couple
been hurt.
months
Yeah.
that he's played.
Um,
So
No, he looked good. I think the other one, big call out from today, 2-0 win for Leverkusen against Atletico is pretty big. I just looked. Leverkusen is in 17th place in the Bundesliga with 1 win so far.
oh
There's always
then-
one team like that.
And then
Yeah.
they shattered
So
Atletico.
obviously they're going to the semifinals.
Right. Yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi
Champions
and
League.
Patrick Schick, they're going to ride on their shoulders.
They're setting up.
Because I
Moussa
think,
Diaby.
Julian Wirtz is hurt.
yeah, and Moussa Diaby is he was rumored with a bunch of
He's always rumored, I feel like, yeah.
prem teams.
Damn, Hudson-Odoi played today for Leverkusen. That's
Yeah,
good.
he's been-
That's
he's been-
awesome.
He's been playing most of their games, so I've been
for
checking
him.
in.
See, I'm glad that he's playing his normal winger position though.
Yeah, not wing back.
Because I think he was just frustrated that he was playing wing back at Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah, I think there must have been some bad blood there or something with him and Tuchel because he straight up did not play. I thought he was injured or something. I think didn't he
I
have
saw
something?
that it was an article that was
nerve damage or
it
something?
was nerve damage that they think was post-COVID nerve damage that at the end of the last 2 months of the season he couldn't pass a ball for 10 yards, more than 10 yards.
oh my gosh.
Which seems like either the craziest excuse ever for to avoid kind of his talking about his relationship with Tuchel, but or I saw him the Athletics, so it seemed legit, which is awful. So I'm glad that he's back
Yeah.
and playing in the Champions League.
Yeah, that is good. That's kind of crazy if that is
Kinda nuts.
actually what it is. But yeah, good to see him playing. Hopefully he'll get some time, and from a Chelsea fan perspective, hopefully he does well and makes it back into the starting 11, or we get a big fee for him because I
Yeah.
don't really want to see him sitting on the bench because he's too good of a player for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to get your opinion on this because me and Tommy talked about this last week. Griezmann has been subbed in
Yeah, the 60th
after
minute.
the 60th minute, in almost all of Atletico's games, just
Yeah.
because of that clause with Barcelona. What are your thoughts on that? Is that ethical? Is that okay with
Yeah.
Atletico? Is
I
that
think that's totally fine.
yeah?
I think Atletico are totally on the right. I mean, that's the contract.
Yeah.
It sucks for Griezmann. But yeah, no, that's totally ethical.
Yeah, I know. We were
I
talking
thought-
about it too. What is Barcelona going to argue?
Yeah, well, because they did try to argue. I think they tried to sue them.
They
or
tried to
something.
sue them, yeah. And I think they're lowering the clause from 40 mil to 25 mil
The
or something
release
like
clause,
that.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
So,
Yeah, I think that's just bad business by Barca, but that's nothing new. So,
mhm.
Alrighty, should we move into our, I guess, main topic for today?
Main banter.
Main banter for today.
Get ready to argue.
Yeah. FIFA 23 is on the horizon, which we're excited for. We were just talking about trying to get back into it. But they have released their top, or I guess some of their top players that will be around.
23 of the top 3.
23 of the top players, yeah. So we'll be reviewing some of those players today, giving you our initial reactions, saying what we think is right, what we think is wrong, just kind of generally conversing around these players. So let's just start off with the top 10. I don't know. I have it pulled up. I hope you both do as well.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mirror.co.uk. Is that what you're using?
I'm there, Max.
I'm on
you
the-
there?
I'm on their Instagram.
Oh, that's probably smarter.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. There's a lot of different ways we can get this information. Let's talk more about that. Okay. How do we want to start? I think my first main thing is no one over 91. That's been a long time since that's happened. Since we've had...
Yeah.
I kind of like that though, because Messi and Ronaldo were so good for so long, and I feel like this is a year where they are kind of taking the backstage. They're other players are starting to really surpass them as the best players in the world, and so I kind of like that and they still have their moments, and you can't just shoo them out of the limelight immediately and make them 85s, but I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's
They aren't 85s yet.
No, they're not 85. I am just surprised that like shouldn't one of these guys be better?
well. I was gonna say like if you look at other video games like a Madden or like a 2K basketball game, like there are 99 overall players.
Just like out like base.
Like yeah, base. Like there's
So
there's
stupid,
like a
though.
99 or
But,
you have like the
then you get-
99
Yeah, I don't like
club.
The
that.
informs are also 99. Aren't they like 100 or something?
Like I think Madden has like they give you like oh you're 99 overall, you get these like gold cleats and stuff, and you're 99 rated in the game.
Yeah, I think you get like 99 rated, but then you can get like
You can get demoted and
you
stuff.
for their like informs or something. Tell me like their stats go up, they stay 91,
Yeah.
but like your team overall can be above 100.
Yeah.
So the individual player is like
I
99,
remember that.
but your team can be like 103 overall.
I mean the highest I've seen was I think Messi one year was 94
94.
in
Yeah.
Messi, right? Or in FIFA.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen a 95 overall player. Base.
Other than I think
Like Garrincha or something was 95.
Garrincha or
legend.
Pele might have been. Was he 99?
Yeah, Maradona was like a 99.
Yeah.
His
Well,
top
that's like their
legend
icon
card.
legend,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
their icons.
Prime icon moments.
Prime icon. Okay, number one overall player, Karim Benzema. 39 defending. What is that? What is that, guys? 39 defending. It should be higher.
Okay, I like that. I like Karim Benzema as the top player. I do know that he will be crap on FIFA because he has no pace. But
Yep.
strictly speaking, talent-wise, actual football-wise, having Benzema and Lewa as 1 and 2 is pretty accurate, I would say.
Yep. I would like to see
like it.
Benzema's passing a little higher though.
What is his passing?
83. A little higher, maybe like even the 85, 86.
I never know how these stats work because how is he a 91 with no stats over 90? Riddle me this, Thomas.
Because it's his striker rating. Because he's a striker. Basically they take the stats that are related to his striking. They're focused on being a striker.
Oh.
And I think a lot of those because there's
Wait, is this actually? I didn't know. I didn't
yeah,
even know
it
you
is
knew the
legit.
answer to this.
Like all the shot, it has 88 shot. That is broken down with even more like
finishing,
shot
power. Yeah.
Curve.
And then
Bends.
I think like some of them, like certain physical attributes and certain like dribbling attributes aren't like as important to strikers, so they value them less than that. I think that's how they do it. I also don't know how they could fudge it and just be like, we want him to be a 91, and that's how they do it. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
I think it's like a collection of the certain striker stats.
That's a fair card though. 91. I mean, he's been probably the most consistent performing player for the last 9 months, 10 months.
Is he hurt right now?
Yeah, he got
He
hurt.
just got hurt.
Which is kind of a problem for Madrid because they didn't sign a backup striker all transfer window. all
Yeah, we
summer.
talked about this last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And they have Hazard.
You don't listen to
Yeah,
us?
and Hazard subbed on and was like
before.
incredible. I listened to your guys' message.
Yeah.
Should we do two?
I guess we don't take the hints, right?
Leva number 2. God,
But-
that card kind of sucks for FIFA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some of these cards just like are ass on FIFA.
Yeah.
Mbappe 97 pace.
Yeah, well, he's the most cracked card on FIFA.
Yeah.
Lewa, yeah, that seems right? Number 1 and number 2. I mean, I think it's kind of hard coin toss these days who is better. But both of them are just like they are just like the perfect striker, basically.
Yeah.
And like a classic striker. There's not as many of those these days. Holland's kind of revitalizing that position, or reviving that position. But a lot of the players these days, at least, are a lot more pacier, kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo when he was younger, pacier on the wing, but can also play as a striker, kind of bleeds the lines like we see Mbappe doing. But these two are just clinical finishers, lethal in the box, get goals wherever they go.
Do you guys have any? We can just like walk through it, or we can just say, do you have an issue with any of these top 5, top 10? Because we have Mbappe next, then De Bruyne and Messi are the all top 5 with 91s. Do you have a problem with any of those? So I think it's
I
fair.
think it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
I think those are like probably the 5 best players in the world, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, top 4, I would say yes. Messi at 91 also. As of recently, he's been playing much better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well-
I think the top 4 in the last year have been playing much better than Messi has been playing.
Yeah, I think they have, but I think still like
There's also like the stickiness to the rating.
yeah.
In that like they downgraded him too, like not from 93 to 91. That's pretty big for FIFA. Like FIFA, they don't really like
fluctuate that
much. They take one season to that much consideration, which I kind of like because it's more fair to those players in terms of a long-term strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see like the top 4 players were much better last year than Messi. But this year Messi is back to that level. So
Yep.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think more debate kind of comes on that second row.
Yes.
With number 6 being Mohamed Salah. No.
Yeah. That's a great FIFA card, though.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
FIFA card, but
He had a crazy year last year.
he not really. He had a crazy start of the year.
Start of the year.
And then he was very cold.
Yeah.
And he's been the colder, at least, compared to what he can do. He's been cold for the better part of last season and for the start of this season.
Yeah. And I'd argue similarly with Van Dijk, honestly.
I agree. Van Dijk got put on, what was it? Sancho. or no, yeah, was it Sancho?
Yeah, it was Sancho, and he just like stood there,
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, and I think, he's no longer with them, but like Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane always were compared to each other. And I think Mane's better, basically, is what I'm saying. If Mohamed Salah's 90, Sadio Mane should be 90.
Yeah.
Salah still had a crazy year. He had 23 goals and 13 assists in the league.
Tied for Golden Boot, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a better year than the year before, where he had 22 goals and 5 assists. So it was like
I will say though,
Yes, that makes sense.
I will
That's
say
a little bit of upgrade. It's
how
+1.
How many of those goals were pens?
Oh shit.
And also-
5 of them were penalties. 18 of them were non-penalties.
A lot.
Can you
Only
see?
Sonny can go all the way, no pens.
He's Sonny. Sonny's up here too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's what,
89.
12th, 88 pace, 89 shot. That's
Yeah,
an
nice
incredible
card.
card.
Well, that's just crazy that he doesn't take any penalties in the Golden Boot race all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What a beast.
See, I want to build my FIFA team. When I think about my FIFA team,
Yeah.
I want to build my FIFA
What
team
formation are you using?
with
4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1.
Of course.
Maybe narrow, 4-2-3-1 narrow.
Right.
But
Rock those cams.
I don't want to have players that I dislike that are doing things off the field that I don't like. I need good character players.
You need good locker room.
I need a good locker room, good captain. I mean, I can't have a team full of PSG players and non-leaders, you know?
Is your Ultimate Team locker room like hundreds of players because you have hundreds of cards?
Imagine all those
They all
players.
pissed off that they're not getting playing
You have
time.
like a crowd of players in there.
There's also like 4 different Mbappes if you have all the
You
informs.
have N'Golo Kante as your captain,
Yeah.
You
trying to talk above the masses.
you sit down, Jan Sommer. You were just quick sold.
He just disappears.
You're gone.
Why did you
You're
pull out Janssen?
He quick sells. He just disappears. He's just gone.
gone.
You're not transferred. You're,
Yeah,
you're gone.
I sign a really good player. I sign like who on here can be.
Okay.
I sign Lewandowski. You're gonna be great SPC fodder. You're gonna go right into my 85 upgrade bag SPC.
Okay, so a card that stands out to me, 89 overall, 17th highest player in the game, Harry Kane, 68 overall pace,
Yeah, actually. Yeah, that's
What's his passing?
68.
What's his passing?
83. It's not that bad.
That could be better.
it's
Honestly.
not a great card. though.
91 shooting, 82 physical, 82 dribbling, 68 pace. It's like he has like a wagon tied to the back of his body, and he's running with weights, basically. I mean, 68 pace? That is disrespectful.
But
that is so disrespectful.
Yeah, 68 is bad. That's
What
like you can't play with him.
Yeah,
he's
unplayable.
That's easy. Yeah, put him right on the quick sell. SBC fodder. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think Casemiro's an 89?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? I think he's one of the best CDMs, but I think 89. That's like
think about how good he was at Real Madrid. Yeah. Especially think about in their run to the Champions League final. He was like crucial. When he was out those 1 or 2 games, I forget which games those were, but it was so noticeable that he was just not good.
Right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, and I would say Casemiro, Kimmich, both 89, both pretty similar.
Can you someone show me the link? I can't see all these players.
Yeah, let me send this to you.
Oh wait, I just had to swipe to the. Never mind. I'm here.
Both similar cards, honestly. Kimmich is a little bit more passing, but Casemiro's defense and physical is like unreal. Like he'll just body players.
Well, that's like think about.
And you don't need
need
him to move forward in your team. You can just do instruct him to do his aggressive interceptions, stay back
while attacking.
Stay back while attacking, and cover center.
Right.
Easy. And
Perfect
you're just
tactics.
there.
Yeah.
Is that the tactics I'm missing? Is that why my damn
Tom,
CDMs
that's why
don't they just run away from the ball when that you come at me?
That's why you're in Div 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Tom's a Div 5 player. Harry and I, for the record, are Division 1.
3 weeks ago. I've been tearing through these lower leagues on FIFA 20 in 2022.
Wow.
It's been a lot of fun.
Holland at 88.
Well, it's
sorry, I'm jumping around here, but
rating unchanged makes sense because he was injured most last year.
He was 88 last year.
That's what it says.
Yeah,
rating unchanged.
I guess. Oh.
Wow.
See,
that's why you need the mirror.co.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense, right? And I'm looking, I like in my head, I'm like, okay, Erling Haaland's one of the best players in the world. He is, but he's not the best player in the world.
Who's the best player in the world?
Benzema, Lewandowski, Kevin De Bruyne, Mbappe, like all those players on that top row.
Haaland this year, though.
Haaland this year is tearing it up, and he will get that upgrade.
He might be.
He might crack 90.
He might crack.
Well, I think it could very easily if he keeps up how he's playing, he could be right up there with the best player in the world.
Yeah, right now he's the hottest player in the world.
Right. Neymar.
Neymar's going crazy. Neymar is insane.
Neymar felt disrespected.
Yeah. Neymar has 8 goals and like 6 assists in 6 games.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
My thing is, I just don't understand why Haaland's defense is better than Benzema's. 49 defense.
Because he's a fucking tank. Not that Benzema isn't, but Haaland is.
Probably because he might press a little more.
I will say Haaland pace 89 is lower than I thought, but it's probably because his acceleration is shit. I bet his acceleration is shit. His top speed is probably like in the 93, 94.
87 physical.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
65 passing, like how bad is that going to be in game?
Like just will stiff arm. What's that guy's name? Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, he'll just stomp on him.
Anthony Robinson.
Oh my God!
I can't wait till I see Erling Haaland play Fulham. I can't wait. I just want Haaland to run over these guys. I love Haaland. I hate him because he's so good and he's just going to destroy Chelsea. But he's so likable.
Yeah, he's so likable.
He's just kind of out there just like proving people wrong.
I saw a video of Haaland walking in Manchester. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I saw that video.
He's just walking on the street.
And
they're like, hey, Haaland, hey, Erling. And he's like, hey. He's just on a stroll.
What up?
You see Toni Kroos on the next one after Haaland? Speedster.
53 pace.
Is Kroos better than Modric? Is that?
I guess that's what my takeaway is. And Casemiro's better than them. How the turned tables.
Yeah, I understand that Casemiro is better than them. I understand that they're three of the best midfielders in the world, so that it kind of makes sense.
I feel like Modric is better than Kroos, guys.
That's in my mind but only because I watched that Champions League run where Modric had some crazy games.
Yeah, where he just pulled it was like cat out of the hat or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's some games that I'm equally as impressed with Kroos and his ability to just like ping balls left and right.
Yeah, I think they just play different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like Kroos is just like he will just like sit there. He's not scoring goals like besides a free kick. He's not scoring goals, and he's just standing like right in the middle, just pinging passes.
Cover center.
Yeah.
Oblak, 89.
He should have had a worse.
I feel like a bigger downgrade
Yeah, I feel like he should.
is needed.
What was he before? 90, 91?
He was 91. Yeah, and there was already a -2, and the fact that we're asking for a bigger downgrade, like he had a horrible year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, though.
How old is Neuer at this point?
36.
Do you think it remained unchanged at 90? Is like he's still the same player, or do you think he's lost a step?
I think he is the same player.
Hmm.
I think putting him with Courtois is fair. I mean, Neuer, I thought Neuer was the player of the game today. And I think they gave it to Musiala, which was surprising to
Stud.
me. Yeah, he's incredible, but Neuer made a ton of saves today. He's still so good, and he's so crucial to Bayern playing out the back, like just passing-wise.
That's true.
So he's still at the top of the game at 36 years old.
We don't have a lot of issues with this.
I know.
They did well.
I know.
Well, I think the most disrespected player here is Neymar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Neymar should be.
Did he get? How much was his downgrade?
His downgrade was, it said 2.
-2. He was a 91. And
Yeah,
now
what
he's
the hell?
89.
I saw I don't know if it was a tweet or someone saying that Neymar is the most disrespected player of his generation.
Kind of true.
Kind of
Because
true.
He does. Since his move to PSG, I feel like I've heard a lot less and seen a lot less highlights. But you still, I can pull up his stats. But
Yeah, I think
he's
it's
still gone off.
I think it's the fact that he's now playing in France, so it doesn't get as much coverage.
Yeah,
And people just see his performances in the World Cup and that last World Cup where everyone was calling him a flop or like calling him on flopping all the time, and people just not that isn't fair to say, but also you have to be able to overlook that when you're talking about him as a player overall.
Look at those greens.
99 percentile.
Yeah, he's just like an incredible player.
Yeah.
And the English media hates him, and they just like to call him out on flopping all the time. And just look past that or like enjoy it because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And watch Neymar go off, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I do think our sample size of seeing Neymar is really just international tournaments or Champions League. Because other than that, we don't really watch PSG. Even if they play Monaco, maybe we'll turn it on. But if he performs badly in the Champions League, we think, oh, he's just a bad player or he's lost a step. Versus if we actually watched every game they played, they play against lesser talent, I would say, in other leagues. But his talent is probably one of the best. Like it's the closest probably to Messi, maybe.
Yeah. Well, pure technical ability could be the best from there. Him and Usman, but yeah, I think that's pretty ridiculous. You got a -2.
Mm-hmm.
Seems unnecessary.
The card's dirty though. It's probably a 5-star skiller, 4-star weak foot at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put him in my team alongside.
I guess I'll take him.
Mbappe and Messi.
I guess I'll
my
take
starting
him, yeah.
3.
We're also probably
It's
gonna
so
have...
nice that they still put Messi as a right winger, even though he has not played that at all for PSG. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we can play.
Just so we can play with him. Just so you can have the most killer starting 3.
So does anyone...
He plays like Cam, kind
He
of.
plays Cam, but like Mbappe plays striker and like.
And Neymar plays striker too. They kind of play both up
it's
top.
like a 1-2.
But yeah, I mean, they all kind of float
They're so fluid, honestly. We should have with our viewers, we should have pro clubs tryouts.
Oh yeah.
We'll do like a little series of playing with our viewers.
We'll have a Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Twitch stream.
I'm down.
Would anyone here play a three in the back? Consider it.
No.
Think about. Well, what is your player gonna be?
What do you mean?
In pro clubs?
Oh.
Pro clubs is you have like an actual.
I know Harry's a
career mode
cam.
player.
I guess I'll be a left
No,
wing or
you
a
have to-
striker.
You have,
honestly.
you have to be a winger because for your tramps.
Yeah. I'm
to run into
trans.
the byline and
Yeah, I'll probably be a left winger. That way I can cut inside, just do a little
pass it
finesse
right to me.
shot. Yeah.
I'll
Tommy?
probably be the other winger or the striker.
Tommy should be a CDM or a center back.
No,
Like a
that's
massive
boring.
center back.
maybe a CDM. Maybe the more attacking center mid because I'm bad at that position in FIFA though. I'm terrible. I'm
That's-
so impatient.
Oh,
We
what?
do need a striker though. We
I feel
need like
I'm
a
decent
beast of a
striker.
striker.
'Cause
Tommy.
Yeah, because I'm a striker.
You're the tall-
actually,
you're the
I actually
tallest.
understand the what runs I need to make, the hold up play.
Yeah.
I'm actually really good at hold up play in FIFA in terms of just like keeping it away.
Oh, I don't do
Yeah,
any-
he loves
I-
playing with like Giroud.
Tommy and I, when you were gone, Tommy and I played some FIFA.
Let's play after.
Yeah, Max
Yeah, we'll play
destroyed
after
me.
this.
Max went off.
One game I went off like really good.
Yeah.
I want to play.
Allison?
Allison.
Fair. Kind
Seems
of. I
fair.
want.
Yeah.
I want
Neymar is the
Ederson-
biggest
Yeah.
disgrace, but like the rest of them.
The rest of them seem like pretty
Pretty fair.
fair.
I want to see like all of them. Because
Well, okay,
I'll-
wait. What about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah. We need to talk about Ronaldo.
Like, what about him?
Do you think he's a, well? No, actually, he is a 90 because he carried United last season.
Yeah, but also he didn't play that much, so I agree with the downgrade. It's a -1 downgrade,
Yeah.
and I think that's fine.
Well, I was going to say, my only thought was that it could be more, could be a bigger downgrade.
Yeah.
I definitely think he should
Yeah.
get a downgrade. But yeah, I think that seems all right.
Yeah.
I would argue that he should not have gotten a downgrade. Honestly,
He didn't play that much though.
I think he
And
was
they-
their best player. He was for
He's
sure
like-
their best player last year.
He was their best player just because he scored,
He scored, yeah.
which obviously is like kind of what counts. But
But in terms of
he was also on a
making-
shitty team,
yeah.
which he was a part of.
Yeah.
So like I think, yes, he was scoring goals, but they were not winning. They were not like performing well as a team. They were getting dicked by all these other teams. So like
I think some blame goes to Ronaldo in terms
yeah,
of
definitely.
like
Everyone's on the field is to blame.
Yeah.
So
Should they introduce a little clutch gene into these cards, where Ronaldo has 90 clutch.
Ronaldo goes to 99 in the last 5
Like
minutes.
in the 89th minute, like he just turns it on,
Yeah.
or like you're up for promotion in season 5.
Lucas Moura.
Yeah, you Lucas.
Lucas
Moura.
Moura becomes a 103
Okay,
in stoppage time.
do any players in the top 23 like? Does anyone pop off of your mind and like, wow, this guy's missing?
Other than Christian Pulisic?
Yeah, other than Pulisic.
honestly, like Conte wasn't really our best player last year, and he wasn't.
He was so good in that like Champions League. He was
The
so
year
good.
before,
Well, no, even this year.
even
he
this
was.
year, but
Think about those games against Real Madrid.
Yeah, but compared to the year before,
Yeah.
it's a -1 downgrade from 90 to 89, which I guess
That's
is
probably
kind of
fair, I
fair. Yeah, but
Dang, it's like they have rationale for this or something.
damn, they're getting us.
They did some
What
research.
about Marquinhos though at 88, 23rd spot? Basically, FIFA is saying he's the second best center back in the world. There is an argument there for him being the second best center back in the world.
I mean, we put him there. We put him there, and
We put him on our team of the
In our
year.
team of the year.
Damn.
It's Rudiger is
Again.
the other one, but
Rudiger,
but it's
Ruben
also
Diaz?
it's
Ruben
also
Diaz?
like the stickiness of the cards. Like, but Marquinhos got an upgrade when PSG had like a pretty bad season, so that's kind of odd. But I think
I don't know. I
Marquinhos.
don't watch them enough.
I think he probably had a year
Yeah.
of carrying the defense with the
Yeah,
other problems
Ramos was
on
hurt
offense.
and Kimpembe was bad.
Yeah, because that's what I noticed when I watched them is like Marquinhos is going crazy in the back because they have to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they did have a lot of defensive work to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's probably fair. No, I think the only player, which we kind of talked about earlier, Sadio. Oh, actually, no, Mane is right there. What am I saying? I didn't even look at his card. Looks like a good card. Okay, no, I think it's pretty good. I'm very content with these ratings. That's my main takeaway. Very contentious, very exciting, a lot of drama, and I think it looks pretty good.
Look at Chelsea's ratings for players.
Yeah.
Do they have them?
Yeah, well, they don't have the cards, but they have like
The ratings?
the rating, like just overall ranking.
Yo, send the
And
link.
I think they're all leaked right now,
I got it on Instagram, dog. Don't worry.
but there's some interesting.
I have the
ones.
full cards.
Koulibaly 87. Oh, Chelsea posted that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Koulibaly 87.
Koulibaly 87.
Koulibaly's sick.
Thiago Silva 49 pace. Give my man Reece James the 85 at least,
Give him
dude.
like 80.
Well, what's Trent?
Trent is probably like
Trent's probably
88, 88 or 87. I bet he's at 88.
Yeah. Trent 23, FIFA 23.
There-
87.
87. That's disrespectful to Reece James.
Oh, yeah.
He's a better player.
Reese should be 87. Mount should be a little higher, but he did have like a...
No, he's
The
still-
problem with a lot of these cards is like Mount has been played out of position for the last year, basically. So, and that's why I'm okay with Tuchel leaving, is because his man management wasn't great in terms of like playing players in the right position. I think Havertz and Mount are the same rating in FIFA, but Mount is a better player. But the only reason that there's the same rating is Mount's played out of position, while Kai is kind of the focus of
Yeah.
the attack. The rest of them, like Mendy's an 86. That's kind of high. But he did have like a crazy... He had a crazy Champions League, but it was kind of bolstered by Tuchel coming in and creating our three in the back. So I'm kind of like, if I would, like, without understanding or like seeing previous cards, which I'm kind of that person because I haven't played FIFA in a few years. Like, I'm surprised Mendy is that high, and I'm surprised Mount and Reese are that low.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably a fair read. And I feel like, I don't know. I think one thing, I mean, like looking at these cards outright, which isn't really the true reflection of any team. But one thing that you do see here with Chelsea is a lot of mid-80s players. And I think that's one thing we struggle with a lot of times, because we don't have a go-to guy to get stuff done. And I'm thinking about Man City, where they have, and this is strictly just using FIFA as a benchmark, but they have like De Bruyne, the 91, like these higher rated players.
Yeah.
Haaland is the 88.
So Bernardo might be an 88 too now.
Yeah, so they just have Chelsea doesn't have any standout players. Not that they don't have standout players. They don't have like a go-to guy who's there all the time.
Yeah.
Really, they have players who play well for a while. Like Kai Havertz had a couple really good games last year. Now he's been cold again. So I think that's what really I'm hoping Graham Potter can do, is really find one of these players and like get them to be the guy, get some consistency and some form for at least a couple of our players. Because I really think that's what Chelsea needs to kind of bump them back into the hunt.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Arsenal. Do you guys want to keep on going?
Yeah, I want to keep
Sure.
going through these. Yeah.
Arsenal's top player is...
Wait. Let me guess.
Guess. There's two that are tied, but it's like pretty low rated.
This is surprising.
Odegaard.
Odegaard is one of them.
Saka?
No. Oh, wait. Odegaard.
Saka? No. It's kind of surprising.
Is it Party?
Yeah. Thomas Partey and Odegaard are both 84s. Which is kind of...
Wow.
I feel
Which
like
is-
Party only because he's been highly rated in the past.
Right. And this, I'm looking up and down this team. This team is going to get such a huge upgrade next year if they continue.
Mm.
Like, Martinelli's in 78. That's so low. Even though he's got... Zinchenko's 79. Zinchenko's going off there. Jesus, one of the better players in the Premier
82?
League this season, 82. Crazy. These
Yeah.
players are going to, like...
What's Saka?
Are playing... Saka's an 82. Those are low
They're-
ratings for how they're playing right
I
now.
think when you go at these, like some of these I don't want to say underrated players, but like Pavard for Bayern is a 79. I think Pavard.
Yeah, what?
I think
Really?
I
It's
think
like an
Pavard.
85 in my
I think
mind.
Pavard is a top 5 right back in the world. You have your Trent, you have your Reese, you have maybe a Cancelo if you want to put him at a right back, but he plays left back mostly.
Yeah.
Like Pavard is top right. You could put Hakimi up there too. Maybe Dumfries if you want to put 2. But then Pavard is fit. There's like, I think he is so underrated.
Kyle Walker, Reece James, Trent. Do you talk like?
Yeah, Kyle Walker, Reece James, Trent, Pavard, Hakimi, Pavard maybe.
Mm.
But like Mazraoui's at 82, Upamecano's 81. That makes no sense.
Mazraoui's rated higher than Mazraoui.
De Ligt
Yeah,
is
that
at,
doesn't make sense.
De Ligt is at 85. Lucas Hernandez 84. Lucas Hernandez for me is one of the best center backs in the world, and he's for sure better than De Ligt, for sure.
But you should make some calls.
I need to call them. Stanisic got a +9 though. He's
I
a
think-
72 now.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I like Stanisic. I think it'll be big. You know, I think one thing that De Ligt, we saw him coming out of Ajax being like this huge player. We all saw what he could do playing for Ajax. He did really well for Juventus. Wasn't like, I don't think what people hoped for, but it was still very good. But he was playing next to Chiellini and Bonucci, so that's kind of hard to really gauge how good he is because they're obviously 2 of the best center backs of all time. So they have that, but also they're getting older. So it's a little bit hard to judge kind of how good he is. So I think seeing him now play next to Lucas Hernandez and play next to Upamecano, you can really get a better gauge for how good he is compared to some other people of similar age and kind of similar ability, or at least, you know, from the outside perspective.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually kind of interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of people would say, oh no, De Ligt's one of the best in the world, and not really think at all about Lucas Hernandez.
Yeah.
But seeing them play right next to each other, it might give a little bit more perspective to see really who is better, how do the 2 compare. That's what I have to say about those 2.
Tom, were you gonna say something?
I'm not really.
Mr. McKeon.
I remember playing like FIFA 16 and FIFA 14 and seeing like Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard at the end of their careers, and they were still like 82s, 83s in FIFA, even though they probably weren't like that good in terms of what. Actually, I don't know if they were that good, but they were like their pace was, they were awful in FIFA.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some cards in here, like Kroos, like I'm seeing like Jordi Alba as a 85. They're like similar. It's kind of like paying homage to these players. They're like, we're not gonna bump you down to like what we actually think you are. We're gonna like, you can have a high rating. We're just gonna tank your pace so no one plays
Right.
with you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the sleeper stat.
Yeah.
Or not really the sleeper stat. It's like the main
So
stat.
the main stat is your pace. If you don't have pace, we're not gonna play with you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give you a little bump, so you're
We
still
respect
there.
you.
A little
Yeah.
respect, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I like that. All right. I think let's go ahead and end this one here. I think main consensus is FIFA did their research and seems to put out stats that are actually surprisingly
Accurate.
Yeah, they do
Accurate.
well. Yeah.
And I think
Well,
I'm
let's
always,
see how
like,
the game
I'm always
is.
like, oh gosh, what are these stats? But kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. But thank you all for watching or listening wherever you are viewing our content. We are very thankful for all of your support, and we'll see you next week.